Good morning, trekkers. Saturday, January 21st, 2023. It's right about 9 o'clock in the morning, maybe a few minutes after. Got started at 8:53. Car said it was 21 degrees and it's very overcast. Looks like it's threatening snow. Forecast didn't say that, but as we know. And I'm out snowshoeing again, and it didn't take me long to get off the regular track and start bushwhacking. In fact, only a few minutes. I am out here in the Black River State Forest on one of the many ridges that are populated through this area in the Black River State Forest between Millston and Black River Falls. This particular ridge is part of the Wildcat Mound system. Just over that direction, which should be east, is a whole hiking and mountain biking trail system. We're not on that. I've been in this area many times over the last 15 years and know it fairly well. There was a nice little old logging road that's kind of turned into a four-wheel drive track that I thought it never gets plowed. I thought that would be great for snowshoeing. It was okay for snowshoeing because somebody with a big four-wheel drive high clearance vehicle had the same idea as me, and that was to come out and play in the new snow. 2 weekends ago in this area, the snowmobile trails were closed for lack of snow. On Wednesday, there was a snowstorm, and someone I know from this area told me that they looked to get 4 to 6 inches. Well, clearly they did. So the four-wheel drive people and the crazy snowshoers like me are out here playing. As I was wandering down the four-wheel drive track trying to find good places to snowshoe, saw some trail tape that somebody had put leading up into the woods. I don't think you can see any from here, but there's some just right on a tree off to our right downhill. It clearly leads up to the top of this hill. This isn't a real path, so I'm poking my way from trail tape to trail tape, finding the open areas. Today, this was a last-minute decision to come out here. And it seems like pretty much everything I'm going to do today is going to be a last-minute decision. We're just going to wander around the woods, trekkers, and see what kind of fun we can have. Trail tape stopped back where we did the intro, about 100 feet below me. Probably wisely. I'm going to make it up to the top of this thing. I don't know how, but I am going to. Most of these little promontories in the Black River State Forest, the more prodigious ones, which this is one of them, they usually rise 400 to 500 feet, 300 to 500 feet above the surrounding area. I don't know how high this goes, but I can tell you that it's steep. I checked with the executive producer of the show, and we decided we're going to do some ridge running. At some point here along the way, we're going to have to cross this ski trail. We'll try to stay off it onto the sides as much as we possibly can. And we'll leave it somewhere up about there. We'll head off that direction on some other ridges and maybe drop back down to... There you can see the herringbone pattern of the skate ski. And I'm looking for a good place to cross this trail. Probably down there. Give you an idea, we have not gone very far. I haven't checked the mileage, but if we've gone over a mile, I'd be somewhat surprised. We parked right about here, and that road kind of cuts, logging road cuts in like this. You don't see it on here, but we followed it to about here, and then we went up this way, and we met the trail right about at that corner. We followed the corner there, we bushwhacked a little bit, caught this link trail, which was not groomed, and now we're sitting here. My idea, I think, is to kind of go along this way, do something like that. When I'm climbing up steep hills with snowshoes, I kind of go pigeon-toed and use that approach. I don't know if that is snowshoe canon, but it's what I've been doing for the last 11 years, 12 years since I've started using snowshoes on a regular basis. One of the fun things about that, you need to be very careful that you don't cross your tails. It's easy to do, so you go slow and deliberate. And we are almost up to the top of another hill and another ridge. Just traipsing along this narrowish ridge. It's probably 100 feet across. Steep drop-offs to both sides. And it's pretty easy going this time of year. The underbrush is down. Just have to worry about getting tangled, but you can usually pick your way through in this kind of a terrain. End of the ridge. Trekkers, we're going down and then back up. This is super steep, treacherous. I must be very careful. Good way to break a knee, but I want to get up there, but I gotta go down there first. Boy, is that hard on the knees, let me tell you. It's been more of a controlled sideways slide down this beast. But we're getting there. Oh, look at the tangle I have to go through down there. Ugh. That'll be interesting. All right, trekkers. Made it down. That was quite a bit of work. Boy, are my knees tired. This looks like an old ATV path. But if it was, it dies right here. But it sure looks good going off in that direction. And I'm just going to follow that. I kind of want to get up there, but I'm also kind of running out of steam. But I'm going to go down this path just because it looks like it's a lot easier than what I just came down. And it does seem to go up. What on earth is that? Is that some kind of rodent art? Yeah, I've been in these woods probably a dozen times up on the hiking trails, on the logging roads. This is the first time I've been down in this saddle, down in this valley. And it's kind of unique, different perspective here. This started heading that direction, which is away from that ridge that I was thinking I'd get up to, and I don't really care if I do. But then it circled back around, and now it's going that way. We'll just follow it for a little bit. After that downhill, my legs are pretty toasted, my knees are pretty toasted. Flatter is probably better, but I guess we'll take what comes in front of us. This little whatever it is It's climbing slowly and steadily and getting narrower and more overgrown as we go. Another weekend, another battle through down trees. There you go, trekkers. We were up on that ridge, and right about there we dropped down, picked our way into the tangle, and I entertained the thought of coming right up through that mess and coming up to this point, but we found what looked like that path down there, followed it the wrong direction. It took a 180, and here we are. This clearly was an old walking path, ATV trail, a long time ago. So, Turtle, you said you hadn't planned any of this. Just how unplanned was it? Well, that little rise you see right ahead of us, which is not far away, that is the end of a slope. Up above that is the last point we were up on. And then we started descending that way. If we would have come down here, you can see it's kind of gentle. It's a little steep in there, I'm sure, but then it gets gentle. There's almost like a path right here. We took the absolute hardest way to get to where we are, and the longest, from that point to where we are now. Yeah. Made it. And this is what we get at the top. Rock outcroppings. A neat little cut. This is outstanding. Look at this view. Well, trekkers, that was worth the climb. Holy cow. The most direct route back to where we came from is nearly the way that we got here. But let's see if we can't find an easier way to do that. You'll recall we had this path that joined the path up to the summit. Let's see where that might take us. What we want to do is we want to get up and over this one, up and over the next one, and down on the back side of that is the four-wheel drive path. See how we can do that. While not marked or signed, this is clearly an established and moderately maintained hiking trail, the hiking trail up to the summit of Wildcat Mountain. The other path that we came up probably was an old part of a loop trail that was left to grow in. That's my guess, but this is definitely a hiking trail. Less than 2 minutes later, we run into boot prints. And at this point, they decided that was enough. They weren't going to go any farther in the snow. They should have had snowshoes. And when I say moderately maintained, this is what I mean. There are small trees growing out of the middle of the trail. So it's been a few years since anyone's been in here to do any maintenance. I'm calling these footprints Tom and Lorna. Definitely looks like a adult male and adult female sets of boots. And they are people after my heart. Hey, 5 inches of new snow. Let's go walk a trail that's not maintained. And, you know, I wonder what's around that tree. Geez, Turtle, why should Tom and Lorna have worn snowshoes? Tom, Turtle, Tom, Turtle. According to the GPS, I've got about a quarter mile of this left to go, and I hit the 4-wheel drive track. And then it'll be about a mile on that back to the car, which is good. I am very, very beat from the waist down. There's very little that doesn't hurt and isn't complaining right now. Not a bad day by any means. We just worked really hard. All right, we're on the 4-wheel drive track. About a mile back to the car. You know, when a Jeep Wrangler has a problem with its engine or transmission, it can go into what they call limp mode. My transmission is busted. I'm in limp mode. Took off the snowshoes. This is probably a UTV is actually what it was. One of those wider ones. 2 of them maybe. I don't know. But it doesn't make it real easy for snowshoeing. I tried going in the middle. I've tried going off on the sides. It's like, these boots are not made for walking. But they're better than trying to do snowshoes on here. And I am a hurting unit. And it is time to just get back to the car and lick my wounds. Been a few years for this one too. Well, trekkers, some days are like this. When I come out to the woods and I do these hikes in snowshoes, I hope to tell some kind of a story. To show the woods, certainly. Show how you can get out here and have a little bit of fun. But to tell a story of some kind. And some videos, some days, are like this. And the story just seems like a mess. I underestimated the way back. It was about 1.5 miles. I still have about 3/4 of a mile to go, good 1,200 yards. And I am definitely not in a good way. Body rapidly started to fall apart here. Not going to have any problems getting back, but it's just not ending well, which is a shame because we have all of this. And look, there's a path right there. Oh my gosh. Oh, to be young and super fit and just say, "Ooh, throw the snowshoes on and go do it." But that is not in the cards. We're going to call it a day here, trekkers. And I'm just going to put my head down and make my way back to the car. Get a good stretch in before I get too cold. And head back home. So from the middle of the Black River State Forest, go find your everyday adventure. Lorna, look, some damn fool just took off into the woods on snowshoes.